So, with that going on, people, what else? We've got, oh my God, what's going on in India, people? What's going on in India? So, those of you who ain't familiar, let me sum it up for you, bring you up to speed on the... Alright, people, alright. So, at the same time, let's see if I can bring up... Alright, there they are. I can see now, that's much better. Right, so, what is going on? What is going on? So, those of you that are... unaware of the Indian situation right now, so let me just bring you up to speed. People, a revolution is potentially underway. Those of you are familiar with the CAA, the Citizens Amendment Act, or Citizens Amendment Act that's been passed in India, and the NRC, the National Register database or department or whatever it is, the council, NRC. What these things are, let me give you a very brief summary. India, as you're familiar, under the BJP has really, began gradually drifting towards the far right, Hindutva, hardcore Hinduism, but then it moved beyond that. It went from Hindutva to... So it went from Hindutva to just an absolute serious, like we're talking like far out, far right, Nazi-like policies that have been put into place now. And these have now been somewhat normalized, okay? So people are just accepting them as normal. They're saying, well, and it began with things like, let's say, very early on, meddling with Muslim affairs, things like you're not allowed to eat beef, you're not allowed to, the beef ban, you're not allowed to have cattle in that way, you've got to... So it began with this kind of stuff, then the lynching of Muslims, then it went on to things like... It went on to dealing with the 3 talaq issue, which is the triple talaq, like legislating for that. Then they went on to the Ram Mandir case and so many things. But now they've come up with this. So what is this? Well, it begins with, there's a part on the east of India, which is called Assam, major region. Now, it's got a lot of asylum seekers and refugees and things like that there. So they assumed a lot of them were Muslim because many have fled Rohingya. Now, they came up with this thing that we want to register everyone. And you will only be given, you'll be entitled to stay in this country so long as you have documents and can prove yourself that you're legal in this country. If you're illegal, we're going to send you back. But then what happened, as it transpired, out of, I think there were like 2 million refugees that in Assam, around that region, approximate, give or take, maybe a bit more. Now, they then realized that, almost 70% of all of these were actually Hindu. So it's like, okay, that backfired because they were expecting them to be Muslim, so they could send them back. But even though many were Muslim, but the majority, the overwhelming majority, were not Muslim, they were Hindu. So then they passed this bill called the Citizens Amendment Act, where they've said that, look, okay, if you are in this country and you don't have documents, we will provide documents and provide citizenship for you if you're persecuted or whatever, so long as you are, and they've mentioned, you're from these countries, you're suffering, whatever, and you are Christian, Hindu, Sikh, Jain, Buddhist, these things, except Muslim. Except Muslim. So they just singled out Muslims, said, so long as you're not... Muslims, no. But so long as you're any of the others, we will give that to you. Now, the problem doesn't stop there. it further stretches on to, you see, this NRC, this National Register, is then rolled out throughout the entire, and it's planned to roll out throughout the entire country, throughout India. And the same rule applies. It doesn't matter if your parents are born in this country, you have to prove through documentation that you are Indian. Now, you have to remember that with the majority, over 60% of India is in extreme poverty, and a huge percentage of people live in slums. You can't expect these people to have paperwork. But they've then said the same rule of the Citizen Amendment Act applies. Oh, you haven't got paperwork, that's okay. We will provide paperwork for you so long as you are Hindu, Jain, Sikh, Buddhist, Christian, but not Muslim. So what on earth, what are people supposed to do? So if you've got people living in the slums whose grandparents, great-grandparents lived in India all their lives, as far as they know, as far as they know, I mean, maybe, 500-800 years ago somebody migrated from somewhere, but as far as they're aware, but they don't have paperwork. So the government's saying, don't worry, we will provide you with it so long as you're not Muslim. I laugh at these people, and it's not a laughing matter. I laugh at the audacity that they've had to come out and say that in public, in front of the international media. And the country is up in arms, people. Desh sankat mein hai. It's one big problem, people, big problem. So there's a huge problem. There's protests everywhere in Delhi, in different cities. You've got people protesting. They've got and there's just been so much going on. And all kinds of people are protesting. Hindus, Christians, Sikhs, Muslims, Jain. People are saying that because India is a secular country, that how can you be, what the hell are you doing to this country? And they've built, in Assam, they've built concentration camps for the Muslims. It's like, what the hell is going on, people? In almost 2020, we've got this going on. So that's some of the unfortunate things that are going on. I came across, actually, people, I'm upping the game now. I'm upping the game. Let me see if I can.
कहीं और चले जाने का, हमने उस ऑप्शन को मंजूर नहीं किया और इसी गली की है खाक से, यही खाक अपनी मिलाएंगे, न बुलाए आपके आए हैं, न निकाले आपके जाएंगे.
Wow. That's, people, that sums it up. That's the sentiment of the people. So, as you can see, that is what people are experiencing. They're feeling that look, this, how can you chuck us out of our own country? They're saying that this is, that everybody fought for this country. There's the poet says, "Sabka khoon shamil hai is mitti mein." Everybody's blood has been soaked by this soil. Kisi ke baap ka Hindustan thodi hai. I believe that's Rahat Indori's, that he said, this ain't your dad's India. So people, I thought that was very important to touch upon. So what else is going on?